Yep, we're live. Okay. Alright, so I'm ready to go. The time will start in about a minute, as we just wait for this cutscene to play out, and then it starts when I gain control. So yeah, let's wait a minute and then we'll start. So if you're wondering why there's no audio, it's because we delete the video folder in the game's directory to save time on pointless cutscenes, and it also makes loads consistent between PCs. So yeah, the audio is broken here, but it comes back once we gain control. I don't really know why it's like this, but it just is. The menu also gets broken. If you stay in the main menu too long, then it just freezes. Really weird. Alright, so time will start. 2, 3, 2, 1. Go. A little early there.
The prince made his way along the torn and blasted district, haunted by visions.
Alright, so unlike the other runs, this one will have zipping, or what we call zipping, but we don't have it until we can rewind time. I know, the best countdown, right? So right now it's just platforming. There's little tricks we can do, like right here. And that's a terrible spot. Want to skip this cutscene. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do a trick here called fish gutter skip. Instead of climbing up the ladder, we're going to line up the camera like so, and fail. Try that again. There we go. So that skips getting the first dagger of the game, which is the fish gutter. Which saves time because we don't need to watch cutscene. It doesn't save as much time as it could because we need to die to get it back later. But it still saves time overall. And honestly, it's nicer to play this without the dagger, at least in my opinion. Because you don't target enemies very much without it. That ladder there, I did that little maneuver because when you climb up that ladder, for whatever reason, you pause for like half a second. So I moved to the side to stop that. Alright, this next trick here is a safety fall, which you saw in Warrior Within, the previous run. Which that one is actually like the most precise one in the game. But yeah, you can like, if you do that little maneuver off the wall, you can fall from further height without dying.
Sense the others who have passed through this place.
We use that in certain situations, mostly to fall from higher heights. Sometimes it's just because the animation of doing a safety fall is faster than jumping off the wall. And then there's one more specific use for it in this specific section. We'll see coming up later.
But war with who? And why?
Don't hit me, ow. Prince, no. That maneuver was trying to like avoid getting hit by the archer, but it didn't really work. I think I did the safety fall a little too late. So you could die here to get the dagger back, and if I do die I will get it, but it's faster to die a bit later. So we'll just continue on, do some more cool skips like that.
As with all mistakes he had made, the prince meant to fix this. A noble goal, to be certain, but a selfish one.
Whenever you're doing platforming, you always try to do diagonal jumps like that, just to save time on walking on planks and such.
I know these streets. Knew them anyway. I must keep pace with Kylina if I'm to find the one responsible for this.
This jump coming up down here, you can actually angle it like very severely so that you get right over to where you need to jump off. but it's really easy to die if you mess it up, so I don't angle it that much. Like, you can angle it so that you land up right here, but it's crazy. Camera? Okay. It's not even about timing where it's faster to die. It's obviously faster because the spawn point is a little bit further ahead than where you die. And again, I like playing this without the weapon, so I want to stay without the weapon as much as possible. So, I'm gonna do this little trick here. There is an easier way to get through this area, but I just never do it, mainly because I like this way. You can do a diagonal jump off that to get right over here. And if you're in the perfect spot, you can land right on the ground and not even grab the ledge. Okay. I'm not sure how that happened, but that's fine. There's a checkpoint right here. It must have been like a pixel too far away. I think I've had that death happen one time. There we go, I just got the pixel perfect position. That made up for the death, right? Alright, so there's a jump coming up here that saves like 9 seconds. I'll go for it if the enemies behave nicely, but if they don't, then I probably won't, because it wastes quite a bit of time. Ooh, okay, I got it. Cool. Yeah, I use the term pixel perfect very loosely. It's just a way to tell you that it's precise. Alright, so this is where we're gonna die to get the dagger back. I just roll ahead there to get a checkpoint.
Home. And yet nothing is as I remember. Objects once familiar and comforting.
Try to do side rolls here. Sometimes they don't work. You need to buffer the side rolls perfectly. And if they hit you, it doesn't work either. There's a lot of RNG with those archers. They can also hit me here, if they're not nice. That literally hasn't happened in like a year, and it happens right now. Cool marathon luck.
Objects once familiar and comforting, now fill me with uncertainty and dread. What has happened here?
That was better. That was not better. I can't jump with that enemy there. Trying to wall run, there we go. What are you doing, Prince? Alright, that worked. Alright, let's continue. They can also hit you here. Alright, that hasn't happened in literally like since I started running the game. I'll do another safety fall here. You can actually jump straight to the pole to my left there, but it's too precise to go for. The camera almost screwed me over there. The camera in this game is not very friendly. It likes to jump around a lot. Alright, so this is the one instance of the safety fall that can like skip an area, sort of. Because the archer is there, you auto-target the archer and it makes him grab the ledge there.
I should be resting now, recovering from my time away, or sitting with father. Instead, I'm forced to run and hide, sneaking about like a common thief.
I slashed on the wall there on purpose, because if you don't, you destroy the furniture a bit early, and the archer can hit you, but if you do that, he never hits you, because he does a backflip. Alright, we're almost at the end of this section. Two Thrones has the longest section before you get the rewind time power. It's roughly like 9 minutes if you're fast. And he fucking... Oh, swear. Already. Do some jumps here just to time the traps. So I grabbed that secondary there nice and quick because we'll need it for later. And you can also skip this cutscene if you just re-grab the pole for some reason. And there is a skip for this room that you could do, but I'm not going to try it. I was considering trying it, but I'm not going to get it. I got it like twice within like 20 tries. It's just too hard. I'm killing that guy for safety. Normally I don't. Killing him also usually delays this guy, so you can just run past him, but I was really quick that time. Alright, I should try to explain zipping here, because we're gonna get to a spot where I'm just gonna be doing a shit ton of zips, and it won't make any sense. Alright, so this game's rewind system can only handle a certain number of inputs before it sort of breaks. So if you spam like 25 inputs with either little steps or blocking, which I'll be doing with the mouse wheel because it's fast, it accesses other memory that it's not supposed to access, and for whatever reason it boosts your previous actions by like roughly 10 times. So you'll see here kind of what I mean. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on, but you'll see other ones later that's easier to tell. And I'm also making use of drop glitching, which is falling while you're throwing your weapon to negate fall damage. Alright, so got that no problem. I just fell right into a checkpoint and then died, and now we're here. So yeah, that works, just don't question it. Now we're going to do sewer skip, which is collectively 3 zips to skip the cutscene that's ahead, and also to keep our secondary. And shoutouts to Kata for this, because these zips took a lot of rerouting to actually become consistent enough to do RTA. So that's the first one. And then we're going to do this one to hit 2 load triggers and use a jump sword because it zips you below the ground to hit the trigger and conveniently right back up. And then we're going to line up like so. And we get down there. Cool. I'm really glad I got that, because missing that wastes a lot of time. And since you only have exactly 3 sands to do it, like if you mess up any of those zips, it's just over. And I almost lost my sword, because this game's camera is great. So I was able to jump out of it there. You can cancel your throw by jumping. So I only need 1 sand coming up, but I grabbed 2. And those are drop glitches. You can see easier what I'm doing there. These are like drop glitch zips, which, I'm gonna try this zip. If I don't have a good lineup, I'll abandon it. Oh no, that looks good. I think that'll work. Alright, good. That zip is kind of tricky, and it's kind of risky as well for Marathon, because if I miss it, then I'll probably lose my sword, and then I can't get down off that platform. I would probably have to become the Dark Prince. So this zip is interesting because the height that you need is exactly equal to the boosted height that you get from zipping. So that's why I can do what I call a block jump, where I blocked and then jumped. So, and because it gets zipped a little faster. That's mainly the reason to do it. And it does go slightly higher, which matters for a couple zips that we'll see later. I don't think I mentioned to you too, the way the pickup sands work in this game is that if you have one sand, you're guaranteed a sand pickup, and if you have 2 or more, there's a % chance. So that's why when I did sewer skip, I kind of wasted a sand. This zip is like barely worth doing. It saves like a second, I think. I did it perfectly, so that definitely saved a bit of time. You can easily miss the trigger too. Alright, I'm gonna kill these archers because we need some more sand and they're in our way. And then we can do another block jump. And let me do this. I can kind of angle the camera. You should be able to see the prince zipping up there. Just to kind of show you what's happening. There. Alright, so there's a big cutscene here that we definitely don't want to watch. And we'll throw our weapon. This is a good spot to see what throwing your weapon actually zips like. So it zips you back and then you can drop glitch down. Alright, so we got 2 things there. We got this sword, which is very important because it regenerates sand. The sword from the red guard. And we also got that gate to give us an extra sand tank. So now we have 4. And we also have infinite because we can regenerate.
I will simply have to resort to a more traditional form of transport.
Hopefully with greater success.
So I zipped over there instead of directly down to here because of load triggers. That pretty much goes for any spot where you see me. Like, why don't I just go from A to C instead of A to B to C? It's because of load triggers. Alright, so we just zipped through the load triggers for the chariot and then we can start it. Which skips a cutscene before this cutscene, so it saves a bit of time.
And so once more the prince began the journey home.
One funny thing that happens because of that is this area is not loaded yet, but luckily you can still go through it and then it gets loaded.
He will tear our chariot apart!
Not if we tear his apart first. Turn right.
I'm going to try this rewind trick up here. It saves like a second if you get it perfectly. I mainly want to do it because it looks cool if I can pull it off.
Head left.
And I got it. Cool. So that actually saved like a second. But more importantly, it gives us this cool broken chariot. If you get it with 3 sands, it doesn't save any time. And if you get it with 4, it loses a bit of time.
Watch out. That was close. Behind that column.
And also this cutscene is the best with the broken chariot.
Come on!
I love that. Prince is so skillful. Grabbing onto an invisible horse.
The once bright and vibrant streets of Babylon now stood all but deserted, its inhabitants either dead or fled. Those left behind suffered terribly, captured, tortured, and transformed. But the prince did not notice this. So focused was he on the vizier.
Alright, so this zip is kind of unnecessarily complicated. You could just move up and just do a block roll instead of all the stuff I'm doing. But I find it's just a bit faster if you do it that way, because you can set it up really quickly. Yeah, I guess I'll try this zip. This zip is really hard. I might make it over there, but then I might not have the correct distance, and there's so many factors. Alright, I hit the trigger. Did I make it over there? I did, cool. I didn't think I was even gonna get that, because I've been missing it in practice. It's an area where you can see the zip too. I like areas where you can actually see the prints moving in the zip. Okay. Alright, so there's another dark prints section here, which we will skip. Which is actually slower. It's around 10 seconds slower to skip this. But by keeping the sword, we can do other zips later. That will save time. So we waste like 10 seconds here to save more later. Yeah, zoom. I just need to zoom up here. Alright, cool.
Still live. The city is not yet taken. Perhaps Father is among them.
Then you backtrack there to hit a load trigger. And we can roll right over to there. I did inputs a little differently there. I used the walk toggle. I do that usually if I need to do a roll, because you don't need to take your weapons out for a roll. But every other input you do. So what I can do is hold the walk toggle and do inputs forward so you don't move much. And then I could just do inputs all the way down the stairs by scrolling forward on the mouse wheel. Alright, so coming up is the boss Klumpa, which we're going to skip, and we're not even going to see, actually, because of how this is routed out. So the arena's not loaded yet, and if we go in this corner, it loads the arena, but Klumpa isn't loaded yet, the actual boss, which is important. So we can zip from inside this corner, do a jump dagger, because we need to get below the floor. I hit that load trigger, get below the floor, hit this one, hopefully, and then get back up, and we're good. So now I'm in the arena and Klumpa's not here, so we're free to zip again. You can do this zip, which is pretty precise, but it has a really nice setup found by Kata. Usually works first try. Sometimes you miss it, and I think it's to do with animation canceling. Oh yeah, and of course I miss it. Alright, I have to set that up again. Really sucks if you miss it, because this setup is long, but it's necessary. Trying to get a very specific camera angle, which I can't seem to get right now. Okay, there we go. There we are. That's what's supposed to happen. Now this zip needs to be ended over here so that the area is loaded. That's why I kind of do the inputs over there at the end. Otherwise this whole area with the water won't be loaded. Nice. Glitched backflip there. Prince does that sometimes where the backflip is really weird. The animation gets screwed up for some reason. So this is the area where we save a bunch of time by keeping the sword. Because if we didn't have the sword right now, we would have to like load the red guard again and then kill him, get the sword back. Okay, usually you can just wall run up there, but the prince is not having it today. Yeah, the zips where areas deload look really nice. I hate this area here because you can't, like, I've tried different things to speed this up,
I'll never forget.
do it in one zip, and there is a zip to do it in one, but it's slower, so what we gotta do is just backflip over there to hit a load trigger. And then we can line up and zip into that room behind the door. And that sometimes happens, but I've never gone too far. It's all good. See side rolls kind of intermittently. I usually only do them like you do them if there's a really long path to take. Like at the end game, there's certain sections where you would do side rolls. But during like these quick zipping sections and most of the mid game, I usually just do them if they're already set up for me, kind of. Like if I land with my weapons out, I can just start side rolling immediately.
Hope that peace could be restored to the land and to our tortured hero. But the Vizier's army
So
still
do this zip, which I've changed recently.
determined by the
So I'm throwing my weapon there just to get a bit of extra distance. It's not to do a drop glitch. And okay, that was a little worrying. If you die on that zip, you lose the sword, which would be really bad, so didn't want that to happen. Alright, so I just died there to load a trigger that's ahead of us. It's like down that hall over there. Or broken hall, I guess. So instead of having to hit that in the zip, we can just zip to the one after it. Alright, so I saw the floor deloaded, which means I hit the appropriate trigger. So we're good to go. This zip can be kind of precise. I need to line up because I need to hit a trigger and I also need to land on this invisible rooftop. Which I should be good. Yeah, okay. If you miss the load trigger, this whole area right here is just not there. That was really good. Waste a lot of time if it's not, because you either need to rewind back and try the zip again, or you can drop glitch down and go hit the trigger manually. Alright, so this is another Dark Prince section that, you guessed it, we're going to skip. It's mainly because we want to keep the sword, and also zipping across it is just faster, because you don't need to watch the cutscenes. And we'll do a trick here that we only do twice during the whole run. It's called a wall run extend. If I just slash my sword, then rewind to a certain point, you extend it. I don't really know why, don't ask. This zip can be kind of tricky because there's a load trigger that's kind of high up, so you need the jump to go really high, but not so high that you die, which I think I got. Did I hit it? Yeah, I did. Okay. It's a nice zip where you can see the actions. See him fly across there. Ah. This button can be tricky. You can't really get hit or do that, or you won't make the door. And you don't have slow-mo, which you would normally get in a casual playthrough, which would make making that door cycle really easy. So this is one of the zips that the height matters. Like, I'm gonna wait here and then do a neutral jump, because if I did a block jump, I would actually die from fall damage.
Babylon had finally fallen, and none were left.
So yeah, doing a neutral jump gives you the perfect height to get up there without dying.
If he failed, his entire world could be lost. For the Vizier was
Yeah, doing a zip casually won't really happen, especially in Warrior Within or Two Thrones. In Sands of Time, it can happen because you have such a long rewind timer. Alright, so this zip is really cool. a lot of complicated inputs, just to save 8 seconds. But I mean, why not, you know? Okay, I thought I messed it up for a second. The camera was just acting weird, so we need to go back there for another load trigger. Normally you can wall run there, but game wasn't being nice. Alright, so this zip needs to actually zip a block roll and bonking on the wall like that. So I got it. Sometimes he jumps off the wall and it won't work. Alright, so this next area used to be really bad because you would have to do something called cutscene drop, which is dropping off of a ledge the same frame that a cutscene starts. But I don't want to do that, so we're gonna just go down here and zip instead. I just need to jump here to hit a load trigger, which I think I hit. That should be okay. It didn't go as high as I normally do, but I'm pretty sure I hit it. Yes, I did. Okay. Probably noticed that I'm always like at the end of my inputs, like I spam block for majority of the inputs, but at the very end I walk, because if you try and rewind when you're blocking it won't work because of other powers you get in the game. So that's why I always walk forward at the end of my inputs. Alright, so now we're in another Dark Prince section.
Is this necessary?
Get across them pretty quickly.
You're sure?
Yes.
Fine. Waste your valuable time.
And with this zip, we'll be at the end of it. 2 zips right across it.
Yes.
Fine. Waste your valuable time rescuing the princess.
Alright, this zip is kind of hard. Usually fine though. Because I need to hit a trigger that's at the back wall. And I also need to land on a platform without triggering a cutscene. So this looks good, it should work. Oh, it might hit the cutscene? No, I didn't. Okay. If you land like on that thing over there, you'll trigger the cutscene.
Traipsing through a brothel while your city falls apart. That's not what I call heroic.
I am here for Farah.
This is the next boss, which we are not going to fight. Because this boss is horrible.
Hope to prove her wrong. Your reasons for being here are hardly selfless.
You do not know my motive.
There's one thing tricky about that zip, and that's animation canceling. Which, if you don't know, it's just if you press block when you do an action, you can cancel it. I'm gonna show it here. If I like slash my sword, I can block like that to cancel it. And so I need to do that on the roll, otherwise I zip too far.
You know as well as I do that the brothel is no longer dangerous. But if I do not kill that You know as well as I do.
Hey, it's a marathon. I don't care about losing a little bit of time here and there. If it makes explaining things easier.
Well, you did lie.
So this is all just another setup for a zip here.
Yes.
The zip needs to be like perfectly straight. So it's nice to use the wall like that.
His secret self had
And I got it.
Poor prince. His secret self had been revealed, and Farah quite disturbed by what she had seen. Perhaps he should have been honest from the beginning. Too late he realized his
Alright, so we'll do another zip here, and I think this is the first zip where I make use of delayed jump slashing. Which, as exactly as it sounds, I'm just jumping and then waiting a bit before I slash the sword. And that's because I need to get to a specific height to hit a load trigger, which I got perfectly there. Use that throughout the run. The other times I've used the jump slash, it's not to gain a specific height, it's always to go underground. But that time it was to gain a specific height, and nice. That always happens in marathons. I've seen that happen so many times in marathons. That lamp.
In my youth, I would often lose myself in the back alleys of the upper city.
Alright, so coming up is actually a new route that I came up with yesterday. It saves around 15 seconds. What we used to do here is zip to this checkpoint and then kill ourselves to load triggers that we skipped. But instead, I can do this route, which I'm just going to hit all the triggers along the way. Get that, go over here for another one. Do this little setup. Which I'm still not very good at because I just came up with it yesterday. Want a good lineup here. There we go. Okay, I got it. Cool. That's pretty hard because if I don't go far enough, then I won't land up here. Then I need to zip again, which wastes time. And if the aim is wrong, then I won't hit that load trigger along the way to the golem here. Alright, so this is the golem. He's really poorly designed for one reason. And I will try and show it off. And see if I can show it off here. If you don't hit the sides for a certain amount of time, then the golem will slow down severely. Don't really know why. There it is. See how slow I'm going now? So yeah, in speedruns you always like hit the side partway through that section, so that doesn't happen. Really dumb. Like punishing you for being good at the game. Okay, I've never seen him jump there. That's probably a bit faster than walking, so cool. And that can sometimes happen on this drop glitch specifically. Alright, so we're going to zip up here. We're actually going to zip past a load trigger. Alright, so you see this area is not loaded. So I need to go back here and carefully hit that load trigger. If I go too far, I'll turn into the Dark Prince, which I do not want to do. Prince, no. Destroy those vases because they'll make me target them. This load trigger hits, or this zip hits 2 load triggers, and you need a very specific distance. That's why I do that awkward set of inputs, but I actually missed one of them, so I need to jump back here. Not a big deal. There we go. And we can drop glitch down to this out of bounds area, which you can actually get down here with a safety fall too, which I find interesting. It's a really nice setup for the zip. You don't need to aim it at all. You don't even have the camera to do aiming, so. And I actually missed it. That's surprising. That like never happens. Just gonna rewind all the way twice. That usually gets me back. There we go. Getting back from a zip can be weird sometimes. If you time it correctly, you can usually get back with 1 sand. But like for safety, you would do just rewind twice fully and you usually pop back.
I must hurry and find a way inside.
Have fun with that.
And I did a little trick on the pole there you probably didn't even notice, but if you like start swinging on a pole and then drop from it, you could fall a bit further than normal. So I did it that way, just by mashing as soon as I grabbed it. This is gonna zip us right into the puzzle room if I did it correctly, and I did. And this actually, interesting enough, this actually skips a load trigger, but the game was nice and still has this teleport to the chariot. So even though we skipped a load trigger, we could still zip in here and hopefully hit this load trigger, or this teleport. Yeah, it works. There we go.
Shall I continue my story from here?
I think you're taking this hero business a little too far. You've already saved the citizens.
Alright, so another auto-scroller. There's no time save for this one, not even a rewind trick to save a second. Prince's sword is like kind of glitched though. You see it's like pointing upwards. That's because we zipped into the teleport. It'll get fixed once we watch a cutscene. So the boss coming up is the so-called twins, and we're not going to fight them. We are going to start the battle though. This is the only boss where we actually need to start the boss battle. But then as soon as we do, we're going to zip out of the arena. This chariot section's kind of long and there's nothing to talk about really. It's essentially an auto-scroller. Alright, so I'm actually going to get hit by this dude with the axe on purpose, because it's a really good distance to zip out of the arena. And then hopefully I can fit in the inputs nice and quick. I don't need to try this multiple times. The guy with the sword can give you trouble. I gotta wait for a second so the rewind timer starts, and then we move over here. I think that was enough inputs. Yeah, perfect. Now we just need to deal with the horrible camera. And it's not being nice. I can't see where I am. Right there, that should be okay. Ah. This is a really bad camera. Usually it's not this bad. Okay. So I did a jump backflip, even though it's hard to see. Alright, and we land in this room. Now we need to walk over here to hit a load trigger, but not so far that we start a cutscene. And then we're going to zip back in this direction. So I turned the camera just so it's easier to tell when to release my rewind. And we skipped a load trigger, so we need to go back here. And now we are at elevator, with the cool boss music still playing, because we didn't actually finish it. Alright, so I did another jump slash to gain a specific height, which I almost went too high, but that's fine. Because if you go too high, there's another platform up there that you'll land on, and you need to be on this one to go to that door for another load trigger. And we can jump up here, skipping the whole elevator with 4 jumps. I stopped there because I didn't count. Counting is hard when you're speedrunning. Alright. There is a faster zip you can do here, but I'm not going to do it because if I die, it wastes a lot of time, and I just haven't practiced it much. Yeah, I don't want to do it, so I'll just do this way. So-called the Gate 9 zip. Probably could have made that. Prince, don't do that, please. So if I did the faster zip, it would land me right here. So essentially combining those 2 zips into one. Oh, what am I doing? I need to die. It skips load triggers, so we have to die. But luckily there's a checkpoint right here. I think I'm too close. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna hit another teleport trigger here, which is kind of precise. It's actually pretty precise, but I have a good setup for it. I haven't missed it in a long time, so if this doesn't work, I will be surprised. Alright, fade to black, we're good. And I'm going to run to the end of this platform here, because if I don't, there's a chance you'll soft lock. Because the load trigger for this area won't be hit, and then you'll just constantly void out. Trying to wall extend here. This is the other spot that we do it. What was that? Okay. I've seen that before, but it's really random. Let's try that again.
If you had just stayed focused.
Yeah, that's better.
Enough! All you do is taunt and insult me. I do not know what you are planning, but I know that I do not trust you. And I am ashamed that I ever did.
I have nothing.
Alright, so this is probably the biggest down zip we ever do. And it's using this slide. So we're going to zip all of that animation to get all the way down to the end of this area. Really convenient that they put that slide right in line with this platform. And then we have to die again because we skipped load triggers.
Tick-tock, Prince. Tick-tock.
So I use a side roll there instead of a backflip because it pushes you further down this hallway. So it saves a bit more time, and it also has a really nice setup, I find. You can just wall run up that wall and be in the perfect spot. These drop glitches are really easy. Some can be really hard because you need to drop further, but these ones you don't need to drop that far down, which means you don't need to rewind as far as other ones. Alright, time for darkness, and let the darkness memes begin. Because in the previous world record, I was bad and got lost. So you're supposed to get a sword back there that would light up this area. But we're speedrunners, so we skip it. I'm going to zip up here, and then we need to travel this hallway. Which the faster strat is to go on the inside. It's like a U shape. So you can go on the outside like I'm doing, which is the easy strat. Or go on the inside, which is a little faster. But I'm not about that life ever since I got lost. Alright, now we're going to do this zip, which can be kind of tricky. It's mainly tricky because I can't animation cancel the roll at all. If I do, it won't work. Alright, I got it first try. Cool. So I need to like time it so that I can do my inputs after the roll. But if I wait too long, the prince will put his weapons away, which he likes to do extremely quickly. So yeah, it can be kind of tricky. Oh, and I didn't jump high enough. Good job. Where am I? Oh, that's bad. I don't want to be here. Okay. I zipped to like a way further area in the game, but I can't go there yet because there's other load triggers. Alright, there we are. There's a load trigger right in these rocks, so we need to do this little zip. And I'm gonna death abuse yet again, because it loads a trigger that's ahead of us so we can skip it and just zip further. Alright, there we go. Now we're gonna throw a weapon and jump. And then we're gonna end the zip up these stairs to make sure that the kitchen is loaded. Then we can drop glitch right down into the area. A really nice zip, I like that. It makes getting this area loaded consistent, because before, if your zip was like just a little bit off, it would deload the area. Alright, do this zip to save like a second or something. Can't remember exactly how much this saves. I think it's like a second or two. It's barely worth doing, but it's a really easy zip, so might as well just do it. This is one of the so-called tower zips. You need to go really high up, that's why we do 2 jumps, and I actually went too high and died, so that's no fun. There we go. Dying here would be kind of bad, because I lose... Aw, can you not do that, Prince? This zip can be really annoying, as you can see. What happened there is I bonked on the archway, and that made me fall out and miss the platform. Alright, this one should work. Nope, because I'm bad. Pretty much. Late game choke. There we go, okay. We'll do this zip, which I'll probably miss the load trigger again, as I always do that. Oh no, that looked good. We'll see. Alright, I hit it. Saw that area. Oh, and I actually got the perfect version of it. Sometimes you can land down there, other times you land on the beam. And landing on the beam is obviously the best, because then we can just continue right over. Alright, now this zip has a chance of crashing the game if I zip too far. should be okay. Yeah, if you zip past those vases into the wall, the game will crash. But the way I do it now is I animation cancel the roll so it doesn't go as far, and that rarely happens. Another delayed jump slash here. We want to get up here without the enemies being loaded, so we can just zip to the end straight from this area. Can the prince stop block rolling? I need to do a regular roll. There you go. It's hard to get that to work sometimes. You either need to wait a certain amount of time before you roll, and then he'll do a regular roll, or you need to kind of tap forward and then roll to get it to work. Alright, 2 more zips left in the run, if I don't mess up. So we're going to tap throw our weapon just for the distance. Get right in this hallway, roll up there for a load. And don't do that. There we go. Then line up pretty precisely here, because I want to hit a teleport trigger. And the camera's not being friendly. Alright, that should work. I'm going to zip right up to the Vizier Arena and hopefully hit the teleport trigger that's up there. And I got it. Cool. Alright, so now we're in the mental room. So that was pretty much the whole game. We lost the Dagger of Time now, so we can't zip anymore. We just need to do this pretty much casually.
Selfish ways, they give me form and substance. Even with the sands gone, I have the strength to remain.
There's a couple skips you can do in this area, and I'll try one of these skips just for the fun of it, really, because it can't really save time unless you set it up insanely quickly. And nice, I just missed that. So you can skip these beams by jumping. That's one little thing. And then you can skip this slow-mo section, which I'll try and do. It's pretty hard. And it does not save time. Nah, I missed it. Yeah. You need to jump on the very edge to get around it. If you did it like with no setup and just went right away, it would save probably like half a second. So it's, yeah, not even worth trying for.
You have squandered it, Prince. I would do it justice, and so it should be mine.
You are just a parasite. You deserve.
I'll try another one up here.
What don't I? Have I not earned it?
Just cause marathon, why not?
How many times did I save you? How many times did I unblock?
It's not like it's punishing. If I miss it, I'll respawn back.
While all you did was cry about your father and Kylie.
Or I'll just have to deal with the slow-mo.
Everything bad always happens to you. Boo-hoo, Prince!
Your words are empty. Have
Alright, I got that one.
empty.
So I jumped around the trigger for the slow-mo to start.
Selfish spirit.
If I am selfish, Prince,
Which that probably didn't save any time because I spent a little bit lining it up.
lacking in morals, it is because you are.
But still cool.
Myself out of the ether. I was not conjured by some.
Yeah, in a task setting, it would definitely be worth.
I am you.
No. I have seen the error of my ways, and I have atoned for the transgressions of my past. I am no longer that person.
Seasons change, tastes change, but people never change. You delude yourself believing otherwise. Do not fight me. Step down.
Last skip of the game, take 3 steps, wait,
You mean to
And
kill me
jump.
then? To cut me down like all your other enemies? Swing that sword, Prince! We've seen how well that works.
You can also skip this slow-mo section, which I might have done if I remembered about it, but whatever. You use the beam to kind of angle your jump, and you can jump around and land beneath while skipping the slow-mo.
Not chase this shadow. Turn away. Wake up. I will lead you.
And side rolls to the finish.
No! What are you doing? Do not
The time is
ignore me.
coming up right now. And that was sub an hour? 59 something. That's pretty good, especially for a marathon. That was my goal, but I was kind of expecting I would get like 105, 110. Yeah.
Should I continue?
So there's one thing I can show off here.
As you wish.
Let me just show off this, I have plenty of extra time, so. What save is it? I think it's this one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, when I show off this ladder is really fun to play around with. So a ladder is considered like a non-zippable object. Can't zip a ladder, it'll just put you back, but if I do this, you can zip it upwards, like so. And then if I rewind back, there we go. Elevator ladder. Which is pretty amazing. This is, so far, like, that I know of, this is the only ladder that behaves this way. And I have no idea why it does this, but it just does. And it's pretty fun. Alright, so that's it for me. Thanks everyone for watching, and I believe we are taking a break now. I don't think there's any more runs after this. But we'll be back tomorrow. Prince. Unfortunately, I wish the collision up here wasn't there. Then you could continue up, but it stops on this ceiling. Wonder. Actually, I just had an idea. Let me try something. What if you like zipped all this? No, he doesn't even grab the ladder. Yeah, never mind. Alright, I'm done. I'll cut my stream. Thanks again for watching. And I will be back tomorrow with another run. And it's actually a race tomorrow. Warrior Within. Alright.